from 2000 until 2007, I edited a monthly series of Star Trek ebooks. And one of the biggest problems we had was nobody was ever saying, oh, I don't really want to read a book on a computer. And I kept saying, once the technology got to the point where reading electronically was as comfortable as reading a codex book, that was going to change. And sure enough, the Kindle hit, the Nook hit, the Sony e-reader hit, and all of a sudden, everybody's reading books electronically now. And it's completely changed the ease of technology, both the ease with which a person can create a book and even create a cover, has changed a great deal of how we can get things to people. So I think, like I said, revolution might be giving us a little too much credit.
I think evolution is a better word than revolution. Yeah? I mean...
yes, we can do tricks with words. We're writers.
Yeah, in fact, a couple of friends of mine that are science fiction writers were just talking back and forth on email this last week about the fact that their numbers in terms of ebook sales or electronic sales are something in the neighborhood of 10 times their physical book sales now. So that shift, I think, has already occurred, even though to some extent traditional publishing is still catching up with it. At the same time that we're all sitting around scratching our heads trying to figure out what's going to go on in terms of how books are sold and where books are sold because of the demise of Borders, which has kind of thrown a huge grenade into the publishing world as far as what we do with the books, how we get the books out, and get readers to be aware of what's being published or what they ought to be looking at or we want them to look at.
In the past, if we didn't have a publisher or didn't make it into the market because it wasn't commercial enough, many of us have books that have been sitting on our shelves, and there's really nothing wrong with those books, but maybe they didn't fit to the publisher's list that year and such. So now with the changes that are going on, it's easy for us to actually get books out no matter what. So like this book, Over My Head, was one that I did myself that was actually originally a Random House title, and then they ended up cutting it in the last minute. So this has been sitting on my bookshelf for the past 3 years. It was really a heartbreak, but now with the changes in it, I was able to bring it out, get it to readers, and that is huge because that means as a writer, I can write whatever I want, and I don't have to be afraid that in the future readers won't see it. So I'm clearing out my bookshelf,
I just want to say that for a reader, it's a very exciting time. When the technology gets to the point where you can sit next to your friend on the beach and say, "Oh, what did you read this summer that you liked?" And the person says, "Oh, I read something by Simmons," or whoever, and you can pull out your iPhone and order it. And then read it on your... you gotta love that. But at the same time, when you don't know what to read, and you're looking for a recommendation, you can walk into your friendly neighborhood bookstore and still have people tell you what they think you would like. People who know you. Yeah. So you have it both ways, which is, how can you not call that a revolution? Really, you're wrong, evolution.
I want to ask is there anybody here who's a writer or want to be a writer? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so as you would probably be aware, you have a lot of choices open to you now. That choices are also challenges, because do you go to a publisher, as Keith was describing in the old days? Do you get an agent? Do you wait for them to show it to publishers? Do you wait to see if the publisher is going to buy it? Or do you go straight to the root of e-publishing?